Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome or welcome back. If you don't know who I am, hello, hi, I am Candy or Candace, and when I'm not working full-time in the animation industry, I am here with you guys, and today I decided I would bring my husband in as a special guest.
Hello.
This is Chris. And we wanted to talk about the first 6 weeks of doing the artist's way because I'm seeing everybody talking about it, everybody doing it, and I was planning on doing like a weekly segment with you guys, but we got horribly sick after coming back from our Japan trip, and that's literally when we started doing the artist's way. So I thought, why not do like a halfway point and then our end of the series thoughts on the artist's way. So this is the first 6 weeks and our honest opinion on doing it. I absolutely love being able to doing it with my partner, or even having a friend to do it with to help keep you on track. I've also done the present moment awareness, and I did that all by myself, and that was also a 12-week process. I felt like I did get some things out of it, and then other things I didn't really get that much out of it at the same token. So in all honesty, I was happy to see it be done with, even though you're supposed to like still do breath work and stuff after the fact. So, and then in this case, you're supposed to still be doing the morning pages afterwards. We'll see how that goes, but
We both have our opinions on that.
We do. All right, battery was dying. We are back. Did you want to start with your thoughts?
My thoughts? Sure, I am happy to start with my thoughts.
Chris is also working. He did not want to step away from working on his animation.
Pause for a second on this.
While we were doing this.
Well, I mean, and big positive, I'll start with that, is it does encourage you to get going. It's got a lot of fun mantras and fun things that do break you out of a creative block. For me, myself, I found I wasn't necessarily in a big creative block. A lot of artists deal with burnout, deal with feelings of self-doubt, deal with concerns about moving forward with ideas, posting their work online, which is something I struggle with. So I think it's fantastic in terms of...
It hasn't helped you get out of that yet.
Working through... You know what? This is always the thing for me, is there's always something that pops up. Because I was like super gung-ho, I'm going to start posting again. And then we had our daughter. And it derailed that. And now that I'm like, yeah, I'm doing work, I'm excited, it's turning out well. And now it's... Instagram is going to steal all of your work through AI and their AI learning system. So I always feel like there's some type of block that's stopping me from doing it. Finding excuses. So I think it's good with that, and I know I will be posting stuff eventually. I have my thoughts on how I want to work around the whole meta AI garbage that artists are dealing with right now.
Open up one of those other accounts then and just posting there. I did open up one of those accounts. I haven't even opened one yet.
I think I should start one of those accounts. Do you know what my thought was?
What?
I'm going to go super old school and start blogging again.
Why not?
Restart up my blog. Why not? Exactly. And just put up on Instagram.
There you go.
And then just do like for the full version.
And you don't think that Google is going to steal your
stuff
work on your blog? You know what I mean? It's just like you're posting it up online, so there's always that risk. But there's a risk and a reward to everything, right? For me personally, I'm enjoying it. I'm finding it, as much as I always say to myself, you know, don't be so hard on yourself and all that kind of stuff. It's so hard to actually take your own advice. And I find that I'm always in that, well, everyone else's work is better than mine. Why do I bother? Like, why am I even doing this? And then I always tell myself to only look back at my old work, don't look at other people's work. And I'm finding that all the homework and the readings and everything, I'm finding it's putting me in a better mood and a better state and a mindset in general. I'm also finding that I think with us being fun employed right now, I've been in such a negative spiraling thought in this whole money, we have to work There's no value in you if you don't have a full-time job and you're not making money and that kind of stuff. I'm finding that doing the artist's way, and especially because this past week was all about money and abundance and for you to think more openly about these things, I'm finding that there is more value in just thinking that you only have value if you have a job. And my God, like, we are so busy right now, even though we don't have a full-time job, but we're working on all of our personal projects that we've always put off, or that I've somehow struggled to dump on top of myself, on top of being a mom and working full-time and editing vlogs and stuff like that. Whereas we can actually focus and give ourselves this grace and kind of like almost be childlike and being selfish and doing things for ourselves, and even going on these artist dates and stuff like that. For the longest time, it's like all we're doing is staying at home, and just like we can't go out and do anything, we can't spend money, we can't do anything because we don't have a job. But then what's going to happen is once we get a job again, when the industry finally picks up, we're going to regret the fact that we didn't do these things. And I'm finding through doing the artist's way, I'm enjoying being fun employed more than just thinking I'm only this one thing and I don't have value if I don't have this one thing, you know? And I'm also being a lot more kind to myself with my Etsy shop and with my work and my personal work and our book, and I'm not being so negative on myself through doing this process, is what I'm finding. And maybe having this positive mindset, I'm noticing that I am getting more sales on Etsy, like I am getting more traction on things. And maybe it's through doing Etsy ads, maybe it's because of my mindset. I will take it as maybe both, or even the content I'm producing is better. Like, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's a big jumble of all those things.
Maybe it's a big jumble of all those things,
so,
yeah, definitely.
That's where I'm at with doing the artist's way. So have you said all of your positive thoughts? Is there any other ones? Should we talk about the negative ones?
Positive thoughts. I think it's really nice. Like, some of the homework I found, you know, would start out really negative, but it became really positive at the end. Like, I think that's one of the big things. Is it's like you were saying, it's so easy to be negative and hard on yourself, but seeing the positives come out of it as you write more, or as you put your thoughts down, has been really nice, because it turns a lot of what you think was a negative or what you think was bad into like, no, but it was so creative, or it helped fuel all of these ideas for me, or, you know, really inspired me as a child, or inspired me and inspires me to do more things. So yeah, I think that's about all the positives I have right now. I know for me it's helping me get more focused and just sit down and hammer into my work. Like, even right now you see me working away while Candace is talking, because I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm getting through stuff, I can get this done.
Or how about even completing your work?
Completing my work.
Because that was a big problem that you had.
me.
But doing the artist's way has been teaching you about actually finishing something you've started.
Get through something faster even. And so that's been really, really great for me.
I mean, the advent of the iPad has made things a lot easier for you too.
The fact that I can do an entire animated short on a tablet is amazing. We're not sponsored, but if you're an animator out there, get Procreate Dreams for yourself, because for $20 one-time purchase. And I've done how many? I finished 2. I've got a short going. I'm doing another little project right now, which for some people wouldn't be a little project, but for me, I'm like, this is a little project.
That's funny.
My next little thing.
Do we want to talk about the negatives?
We can talk about the negatives right now, which aren't really all that negative.
No.
I think. Because I think we're going to jump back to this. Daily journals.
You know what?
Daily
okay,
journaling.
So the thing is...
I'll let you go first,
I was finding at the beginning, 1, jet lag, 2, being extremely sick, and all of those things, and then we had like some other life, family stuff going on, that I was finding every day all of my journals were so negative, and I didn't like what was coming out, and maybe it was just like a lot of gunk needed to come out. But now I'm finding I'm a lot more happy doing my morning pages. I've got nothing but good things to say. My biggest gripe with it is I don't have 3 pages worth of stuff to get out every day. 1, we don't have the time. I mean, it's kind of funny. We're fun employed. Don't we have all the time? One, we don't have the time because we do have to pick up our daughter at 3:30, which is relatively early. So, you know, there's other things we want to do in our day, not just write in our journal. I'm finding that barely 1 page is what I'm getting at. And I'm just at first I would really try super hard to get 3 pages. And maybe it's because there was more gunk to get out, but now I'm keeping it to a page and I'm calling it a day because I just don't have the bandwidth to give it that much because I've got too much on my plate. And also it just takes too long. It takes me way too long. It was taking me like writing. Almost an hour to get 3 pages out, and I just cannot devote that much time, plus doing the homework. I just don't have that time, and I don't understand why it needs to be 3 pages personally. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and we talked about this as we were doing it. I think at first, yeah, I was getting through the 3 pages. It was good, and I'll say the positive of it, and you touched on it. You're writing all this negative stuff down, but as you get all that negative stuff out and put it on paper, it's almost like it's your brain being like, stop worrying about this stuff, stop doing this stuff. Or even if you're doing it a little bit, don't let it continue to take over. Like I deal with a lot of silly video game addictions. I like playing a game on my phone way too much. And now it's like, okay, I'm done with that, I'm working. And I don't touch it until I want to again, or I'm like, okay, now I want a break, now I have some free time, I finished the work that I want to do, now I can touch it, instead of being like, oh, I worked for 10 minutes, that's good, I'm going to take a 15-minute break. And it's so easy to fall into that trap as an artist, to be like, I'm going to reward myself for a small bit of whatever. So writing it down, I felt really helped work my way through it. I went through a phase where I was writing my ideas down, which I loved. I worked through a big, huge idea that I've been wanting to start putting down onto paper or do digitally, however I decide to do it. But I worked through all of that, and now I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I've got that idea written down. And so I think that's the big thing, is they said, write whatever comes to your mind, don't stop. So I thought that was really positive, but very similar to Candace, and we talked about it. We were like, do you feel like you need to write a full page? And even this week, I was literally writing, this is keeping me away from doing work, and I want to do work. So I stopped writing and I went and did my work. And I think you need to give yourself that grace. I think for people who are just slogging through a big
maybe
creative
like a super
burnout,
block,
you know, or don't know what to do.
We were just of the mind, or I was of the mind, we have the time off right now. I feel like this might be a good way to just encourage us to see where our art takes us. Mm-hmm. Neither of us are in a block per se, but I thought it would maybe be like a creative outlet for us. So I know that, like, even if you have nothing to write, you just it felt like lines to me. Yeah. Like you're in detention writing lines. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write.
Yeah,
I don't know what to write.
Such a chore.
You know, so I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And maybe other people that have done the artist's way, you can chime in the comment section below, like how you found doing the morning pages. I think that's probably one of the hardest spots that a lot of people find themselves in. But this week is also about finding interesting rocks and interesting like flowers and things and pressing them, and then also doing some baking. I'm probably gonna do some mug cake for us tonight.
Sweet.
So I don't know what baking you're gonna do for me this week.
Well, I might turn my baking into barbecuing.
Oh, okay, that's true.
So
why not?
I've had an idea to do something on the grill for
so then why not? Let's do it.
So now is the time.
But yeah, and then the other thing that we're having a hard time finding time to do every week, doing an artist date. And I know it doesn't need to be outside of the home. You are almost not doing any artist dates. I'm at least like going out for lunch every once in a while, or I made a panettone the other week and I counted that as my artist date because it's like a whole day event doing it.
But I think this is going to be silly, but it's like sometimes I feel like my artist date is just going to our comic shop and picking up a comic.
But it needs to be 2 hours of you being alone doing something.
I know, but it's like, I just want to be alone doing animating right now.
And that can be your artist day too, though. It can be whatever you want,
that's,
though, right?
I know, that's just the thing. So it's like me sitting down.
But I don't think it should
working.
be the same thing every single week. I think you need to. I think you need to get out of your shell a little.
I do. I agree.
That's my only gripe with you. You're not following it.
Yeah, I'm not following it as tightly as Candace is, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I 100% agree there. I don't know, what can I do to make it better?
You have to try and schedule something in.
I have to try and schedule something in.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll check back with you guys at the end of 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll see our final thoughts and go from there.
I'll say overall so far positive. I think there's been a lot of good growth out of it.
I'm definitely noticing a change in my art, and I'm liking what I'm producing, and I'm being a lot more free with things than I was before.
That's fantastic.
And I don't know if it's just, I'm gonna say it's probably because of doing the artist way. So
yeah, I'll say there's more confidence in my work. Even little side bit I'm doing, not sponsored again, but I'm doing a little
why would I be sponsored? I'm a little
project through Aaron Blaze's Creature Art Teacher website on Procreate Dreams. He had a class, he had an amazing sale. If you're an artist or animator interested in learning, check him out because he has amazing sales all the time. Sponsor us if you can and you see this. But I was animating along with him, and he's been a Disney animated for, I think he says 35 years now. Phenomenal, and I was animating along with him, and I was like, oh wow, this guy is phenomenal, like just his level of draftsmanship and everything. So it was nice and humbling, but instead of like wallowing in sorrow, I got out of it very quickly, and I was like, no, I'm just going to redo what I did, make it better, make it something that I want, and I got a really fun piece out of it.
Totally.
So yeah, like I find it's working me through a lot of that, like the negative self-doubt,
the gunk that faster, artists, right?
Yeah, like you don't wallow in your swamp of despair. You're like, well, this guy's been doing it for 35 years. I have not.
I totally agree though, because even with my Patreon rewards, I wasn't really happy with what I produced for my for the line work for my fairies, and I decided, you know what, F this, I'm gonna go over it and do it again.
Go and do it again.
Whereas before I would probably be like, I don't know, should I bother? Like, it's okay, you know, but it's like, if you're feeling that way, just do it again. It doesn't hurt, especially because, like, at this point, I've already digitized it, so it doesn't hurt to try it again and just make a new layer. Try it. If you don't like it, go back to the original, you know? No harm, no foul. So I ended up producing stuff that I'm so much more proud of, and that I'm probably going to turn into little postcard thank you gifts for people.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, like we say, so far positive. It's been really awesome, and yeah, we'll see where everything goes from here.
All right, see you guys in another 6 weeks. All right, we are done the artist's way.
Well, I will say you are done the artist's way.
Well.
We will discuss my situation.
Well, where do we want to start?
Let's start with, how did you feel about the experience?
I really liked it. I mean, obviously there's things I do and don't like about it. But all of the different homeworks were not the funnest, and nor did I find them to be all that helpful. There's just a lot of like, ugh, okay, I gotta do this. But I didn't really find any meaningful things from it. Certain aspects I did. I mean, I loved the readings that we had every week that we had to listen to. I think that was the most valuable aspect of it to me. The homework just wasn't as valuable to me. And even like the morning pages, some days if I was really in a bad mood, I found that they were helpful because they helped get just like the crap out. But
clear that negativity.
Yeah, but most of the time, again, I just found it to be like more of a thing that I don't really have time to do, especially when it's like you're a parent, you have a job, you know, may that be like an actual job or job around the house or, you know,
Something
working
to do.
on your own personal stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's just a lot. And
Yeah.
I was watching somebody that also did the artist's way and was talking about how, like, maybe this is more suited to someone in like their 30s who doesn't have, you know, not going to like a college or university and stuff like that. I would dare say that it's even worse when you're a parent and when you have a full-time
Yeah.
job. And, you know, like, I get it. They're like, it's like everyone thinks that their shit is worse, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's like, when is there a good time? I'm not gonna say there's a good time. It's just like, you kind of just have to do it.
I have my thoughts on when it's a good time and when it's not, actually.
Okay, but at the end, I think it's put me in a better mindset shift. And I think what I want to start doing, and I mean, I was doing this before we had gone on our Japan trip, but what I would like to do as a takeaway is maybe not do the morning pages, even though I bought all these books when we went to Asia for
to do morning pages with?
Well, I thought I would be going through the pages more, right? But then when we weren't doing 3 pages a day and it was only 1,
well, when
which
it
was still hard to do.
When it was right, whatever you like as well.
Well, it is right, whatever you like.
Well,
but
no, so sort of write the length that you want. If you write a page and you're done,
well, that's right, usually what I got to. But I think I want to turn it into doing a sketch a day, kind of like either journal my day or just through a sketch, or just
do more drawing.
Doing more drawing. I don't care about the writing aspect.
Yeah. I think if we were writers, because we have to remember this is for
anybody.
Entire
this is anybody.
arts.
So it's like really
so it's artists,
vast.
writers, actors.
Yeah.
Sculptors.
Yeah, well, it's for anybody in the arts.
Anyone in the arts.
So anyways, what were your thoughts?
Now, I had my thoughts. Oh, I did want to bring it back to who was it good for? And I think it is anyone who is actually legitimately facing creative burnout.
Well, it's supposed to be writer's block, or it's supposed to be block.
Writer's block, like some type of creative block or creative burnout. I think it is fantastic for that.
But neither of us had that going in,
no,
so we're not going to get like the full...
We were coming off our Japan trip, so we would spend every day doing some type of art. We did a painting, we did drawing, we did something.
While we were in Japan, let's be specifically clear here.
Yes, well, we would go on our excursions. From our pictures, we would then paint something.
Yeah.
Or sit and just draw people on the boat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that alone... Like, I found so much. I was like, I'm not burnt out. I create a lot. I wasn't in a slump.
No. But I wanted to have somebody to do it with, so that's why I asked Chris to do it with
me. I was curious about doing it, especially because I have a class where the book is referenced and heavily referenced.
And so I think this will be helpful.
I think it will be very helpful for me because I can start talking to my students to start doing this. And I mean, in terms of the whole writer's pages, I was just writing my creative ideas at one point.
Yeah.
I was writing to get the negativity out as well. I think it's extremely helpful. And I think if I did want to move or bring writing as part of my craft into what I do already, along with the art, I would continue with the writer's pages. Because, like with anything, if you want to be an artist, you got to draw every day. If you want to be a writer, you've got to write every day. If you want to be an actor, you've got to find a way to act every day. And so the fact that you're sitting down and writing will improve you as a writer.
Oh, for sure.
So there's that aspect to it. Like, again, clearing up the negativity, putting ideas onto paper, which is so important. So many people are like, I have them in my head, and you do until you don't. So.
And then it's gone, yeah. What I was also going to say is, though, another thing that I was doing with my morning pages was, instead of using my planner page, I was kind of like planning out my day. And it's a nice way to just get it out of, like you're saying, get it out of your brain, so that you don't feel overwhelmed, and you know what your next plan is.
Yeah.
You know, but I know it's also like the other problem was the idea is you're supposed to do it like first thing when you get up, which is so not viable when you're a parent.
No, we would have had to been getting up at like 6 a.m. or something.
Well, and I just sit there and like I see a lot of posts online being like, you're supposed to write things down as quickly as possible to get like the most out of your morning pages.
Well, I think the whole idea is if your brain is like, I don't know what to write, you just write that until
I
you
didn't
start
like that
writing
idea
something.
though. To me, it was like, it's like writing lines. Like I'm
Or
stuck
you write-
in.
Yeah, I know. Well, especially if you don't know what to write, and that's all that you're writing is I don't know what to write. But I found like sometimes I did get into that groove of just purely writing my thoughts and swapping topics from one thing to the next as they came to me. It made things interesting at times, but yeah, found it more helpful for writing. Now, in terms of me finishing, I only got to week 7 for the homework, so about halfway through all the homework. I just found the homework such a time sink for me.
It is. You know
I
what
just
was
sat
doing,
there
though?
and I was like, why am I doing this when I have so much other stuff that I want to do?
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, like that I want to do. And if I was in a big giant creative block, the homework would have been fantastic
Because then it helps get you out of.
like
Yes.
there are
Yeah.
creative aspects to the homework, and it's like draw where you want
Or
to
doing
be,
the collage.
do the collage,
Or yeah, it's put yourself in.
put yourself in spaces where you want to
Yeah,
be, right?
yeah.
Like
this stuff was fun. I
that
had
thing.
fun with
I
this.
would be curious to do some of that stuff. I might
Yeah.
still revisit the homework. We have all the homework in a doc.
I do, yeah.
Um,
And I liked doing the collaging because it's like I used to do collages. I mean, it reminds me of something you do in like high school.
Mhm.
But it's fun to like not be stuck in the art way that you always do art.
Yeah,
So that's what I liked about doing that,
yeah.
you know?
So you could start, you know,
Just playing and not caring about
putting
the
stuff
outcome.
out and doing other stuff than what you're locked into as an artist. And I think that's important for everyone, is to shake things up every once in a while and do something different than,
Mhm.
you know, if you just sit and draw every day. And I can use myself as a perfect example. I really locked into just drawing, no color, no anything, not taking it beyond a finished drawing. And something that I did struggle with was finishing drawings or doing painting, doing coloring. And now I'm doing that a heck of a lot more. I'm enjoying doing that more.
Well, you found that through
So-
doing the artist way.
Yeah, stay committed, because I mean, how many artists have, you know, 50 unfinished paintings and that one painting that gets finished? And if you can get that mentality to say, I started this, I'm going to make sure I finish it in a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to start my next one. Or you can start your next idea, but knowing that I have to finish this thing first before I move on to my next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a big thing, yeah. And then what's a big one? We talk about this often, the negative self-talk.
Yeah.
That's kind of gone. Or if it does pop up for me now, I find that I'm just kind of like, oh, that's nice that you think that. Is any of it true? No? Okay, so move on and get your thing that you want to get done. You know, like the whole, you sit there trying to start something and you're like, oh, it won't be good enough. That's pretty much gone now. Just sit down and go.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts? I think it's great if you're in a giant artist block. I think it's fine to peruse through if you're not. Maybe there's something in there that you go, huh, I do that to myself. I could be kinder to myself, or I could use this to express myself differently. This could focus me more. So I think as any type of artist, it's worth looking into.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. We had some time off, so it was a
Why
good
not
way
take it
to
on?
fill it, and everyone keeps talking about it, so I'm just like, well, let's try a self-help book, why not?
Why not?
And I think generally it was positive.
Yeah.
Again, we weren't blocked, so it wasn't like we horribly needed it, but yeah, I'm happy we did it anyways. So I hope
Yeah.
this encourages you to try out the artist way, and good luck on your journey.